The big news we got yesterday was a wide receiver getting a contract situation resolved. Brandon Ayuk gets paid by the 49ers. He joins CeeDee Lamb, paid by the Cowboys, who also joins Justin Jefferson, paid by the Vikings. Every receiver looking for a massive payday has gotten one, except for one guy. He's still looking, he's still trying. That is Jamar Chase of the Cincinnati Bengals, who is still continuing to hold out of practice, not participate, in hopes that he gets a contract extension from the Bengals before week number 1. If you're Justin Jefferson, if you're Jamar Chase, I want to hear me out here. You not getting paid right now is a good thing. I don't think you should want to get paid by week number 1 because I think you are losing money and leaving money on the table by getting an extension now. Well, let's dive into it here. So when you look at what Jamar Chase is looking for, he wants to reset the wide receiver market. According to Ian Rappaport, he wants literally 1 cent more than what Justin Jefferson got. That is what he's looking for. And I think if you're Jamar Chase, sure, you could still get that 1 cent. So Justin Jefferson got $140 million. You can get $140 million and 1 cent from the Bengals before week 1. But you can make a lot more money by playing out this season and then going back to the negotiating table after 2024. The longer you wait, just like a quarterback, the more money you're going to get. What's the rush when, if anything, trying to get paid earlier is only costing you money? Let's play it out here. Jamar Chase so far in his 3 years with the Bengals has been tremendous. He's had over 1,000 yards in all 3 years. He's totaled 29 touchdowns. And this is a guy even last year, right, he proved he doesn't need Joe Burrow to still be an elite wide receiver. With Joe Burrow missing most of the year with that injury to his wrist, and even early on in the year, he was not playing at a high level because of a calf injury that limited him in training camp. With, let's say, very little elite Burrow we saw last year, you still had Chase catch 100 passes and go over 1,200 yards receiving. This is a guy who produces no matter who his quarterback is. So let's just say instead of getting paid before week 1, Jamar Chase plays out the 4th year of his rookie deal. I think because of a guy who's been healthy, who's produced, I think we can pencil Jamar Chase in for bare minimum 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns. Could you imagine the leverage Chase would have going to the Bengals with now 4 consecutive 1,000-yard seasons, 40 touchdowns in 4 years? Imagine the bargaining power he would have. Imagine that paycheck he would get. Forget about trying to get 1 cent past Justin Jefferson, his former LSU teammate. He would blow by that number. I think he would be closer to $40 million than $35 million. You putting another big year on your resume and just adding more leverage to what you already have, you are going to get more money by waiting. I don't understand the rush. I would say the same thing, by the way. I made this point last week on the Hick at Night show right here on Sunday evenings on the Infinity Sports Network, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific, that before CeeDee Lamb got paid, CeeDee Lamb should wait a year. Because wide receiver and quarterback salaries are one where they are only going one way, up. They are linear. Guys are going on top of each other and continuing to reset the market. Why would you want to get paid now when if you put another big-time year on your resume, you can get well beyond what Justin Jefferson got? $36 million, $37 million, $38 million a year with one more big season here in 2024. That's why I think if you're Chase at this point, the only man who's not gotten paid, I think he's losing money, or I guess maybe we'll say leaving money on the table is a better way to phrase it. He is leaving money on the table by aiming to get paid now. By wanting to race before week 1 to get that big-time paycheck. Patience is a virtue. I think patience will be your friend here if you're Chase. You wait one more year. Stack up another big-time season. Go over 1,000 yards. Another 10 touchdowns. Hell, maybe the Bengals win the Super Bowl and everyone's in a good mood. Then go back to the negotiating table. then make your demands really felt. Because if you're asking for $35 million and 1 cent, you could be asking for $40 million next year. Why rush? 855-212-4227. It's Ryan Hickey in for JR here. Does it make sense for Jamar Chase to try to get paid right now? Would waiting be beneficial? Because I'm sure the one argument right now, if you are listening to your radio and saying, Ryan, waiting is stupid because he could get hurt. Right, that is a fair objection. Injury rate is like 100% in the NFL. Everyone gets hurt. And one, as we know, you can get hurt pretty badly and lose all your leverage here. But let's talk about getting hurt. Because I don't think even an injury can hurt the leverage right now Chase has and would limit his number this time next year. We've already seen players get hurt and get paid. Dak Prescott shattered his ankle to the point where we are still talking about that ankle injury 4 years later. He's still not 100% and maybe not fully right. Maybe never will be. There's that viral video, back right before training camp started of him down in Mexico with a boot on his foot. The same foot that he hurt and the same ankle that he shattered. But even though he shattered his ankle in week 5 against the Giants back in 2020 in a contract year, you know what he did that offseason? He got paid to the point where he was the second highest paid quarterback behind only Patrick Mahomes at the time and getting $40 million a year. That graphic, ugly, tragic season-ending injury did not give the Cowboys pause when trying to make Dak one of the highest paid quarterbacks in the league. If you want to look at even a more recent example, look at Justin Jefferson. He wasn't healthy last year. He had a hamstring injury that cost him 7 games. He still not only got paid, he reset the entire market for non-quarterbacks. At $35 million a year, he is the highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history. Those 7 games he missed, the hamstring injury, didn't scare the Vikings away from making him the highest paid receiver in the league. So, let's talk about it. What injury could actually occur for Chase to where the Bengals wouldn't want to pay him? Obviously, career ending, whatever that may be, obviously is one. But, if, let's just say Jamar Chase, and hopefully this does not happen here. I'm knocking on wood, so please don't blame me if this does come to fruition here, but I'm knocking on wood. What if Jamar Chase tears his ACL? What if he pops an Achilles? What if he separates a shoulder, tears a pec, et cetera, has an injury that costs him most of, if not all of this season? I mean, do you see a world where the Bengals don't pay Jamar Chase? Because I don't. With medical advances we've seen in recovery and rehab being quicker and easier than ever, guys that get torn ACLs come back faster and better. Guys with popped Achilles, like we saw with Aaron Rodgers at 40 years old, was trying to make a comeback that season. Surgeries and rehab are so advanced that even some of the most decimating injuries that we've been conditioned to look at and say, ooh, he's going to, not be the same again. Guys come back not only the same, but better. So I don't really see an injury that could happen that would lose Chase leverage. The Bengals need Jamar Chase. Joe Burrow wants and needs Jamar Chase. Even if we talk about the worst case scenario happening, which is a catastrophic injury, I still don't think that loses leverage for Chase. So I don't see a world in which Jamar Chase next year, if he decides to play out this season instead of trying to get paid right now, I don't see a world where he is not the highest paid non-quarterback in the NFL by a wide margin. $1 million, $2 million, $3 million compared on an average annual basis compared to Justin Jefferson. If Justin Jefferson is getting $35 million a year, I think there's a real world where Chase can get close to $40 million a year if he plays this year and produces at the level that he's produced at so far through the first 3 years of his career. So why rush? Why try to get it done now when if you wait, you could be clearing your guy in Double J and becoming easily, without a doubt, the highest paid non-quarterback in the NFL.